Hello, true believers. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and today we have another 5 undervalued comic books for us to take a look at. All right, so first video of 2021. This will be hopefully heading into my third year on YouTube. Already passed the second anniversary a while back. Um, that's cool. Lots of spec stuff going on. 2021, hopefully, this pandemic stuff will cool down quite a bit and things will start to slowly get back to normal, including movie theaters, and going to the movies would be nice. I know a lot of us miss going to see different comic book property movies out there. I certainly do. Anyways, let's take a look at our 5 undervalues for today, right? A lot of them have ties into some streaming shows and some upcoming movies that, whenever they do come out or whatever they do. And yeah, I think you're going to enjoy today's video. So, number one on my list, and I'm going to bring this guy up, and it's not super secret issue by any stretch, but I still think it's being overlooked compared to what this book has a lot of potential for. And it's from 2012, and it is Marvel Point One from 2012, which has the first appearance of Sam Alexander, who becomes the new Nova, right? So lots of spec on Nova, Richard Rider, right? This is not Richard Rider, this is Sam Alexander. Look at what Marvel has been doing with their movies, where we have an older hero passing that torch on to a younger hero, or somehow teaming up with that younger hero. We have Hawkeye with Cassie Lang, with Kate Bishop. We have Ant-Man with Cassie Lang. Seems like there's a few others that are kind of setting a possible Iron Lad in there, possible, you know, it seems like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up some sort of a younger team, right, to appeal to new audiences, new members. They can't live out the entirety of the Marvel universe just hoping like old guys like me go to the show because I remember the Bronze Age heroes and the Copper Age heroes. They got to grab the new guys. They got to grab new people. They got to be able to bring in that next generation of Marvel fans as well. And I think they're doing a smart thing, playing it up to a teenager kind of team. Appeal to that. The characters are cool. If we see Richard Rider, there's a very good chance that he'll add to that by having his own sort of teenager step into that role with the teenager team, and that would be Sam Alexander, right? Who's a teenager Nova compared to Richard Rider, who is older. He starts out kind of young, but he's older and wiser, and being part of the whole Nova Corps and all sorts of stuff. So if we see like a real Nova Corps, a real Richard Rider, I think there's a very, very good chance that Disney's going to keep that formula going and play into it and have Richard Rider's little buddy Stan Alexander also show up. And if that happens, you're definitely going to see a big spike in the price of this comic book. So this is the variant edition. I have a copy of the A cover, the regular cover as well. Couldn't find it, couldn't dig it out of the stacks, but that's okay. It's like a blue cover with the Watcher up on the front holding up his cape, and it's got Marvel Point One. If you see that book, I don't think there's very much of a price difference between the variant cover and the cover A right now. They both are selling for around the $10 to $20 range. Is about right for what you're going to pay for this, for a nice mint copy of it. Like I said, the variant, it's still not selling very well. It's still, a lot of people are, nobody's, oh, I got to have it on my FOMO list, right? And so I don't think the variant cover sells for much of a premium yet, right? We've seen how Ms. Marvel's Point One, where she first takes on the role of Ms. Marvel, the variant edition of that, the price of that is skyrocketed, right? That Point One itself, it's also gone up quite a great deal in price. That was a book that we spec'd on a year and a half ago, right, when it was still down in the $25-$30 range. Now it's a $100 book if you're trying to find a nice copy. And the variant edition of that has really just skyrocketed out there, right? So it's even on the hot CBSI 10 list and all kinds of crazy stuff for that variant edition. So I think it's well worth picking this up for $10 to $20, right? If you see it out there for that kind of price or a good deal and you can find it for even cheaper, grab it, put it in your collection. You might have to hold on to it for a while, but all of a sudden, this book to become one of those sought after, everybody's going for it, especially the variant edition. Okay, I think it's worth a $10 to $20 investment. So from, sorry, 2012, right? Make sure you get the 2012 edition. First, Sam Alexander as Nova, right? First appearance. Look to pay around $10 to $20 for this book right now. Excellent. Okay, so there are some more movie news coming out. We know that they dropped Wonder Woman 1984. I have varying opinions about it. There were certain parts of the movie I really liked. Certain parts of it I was like, really? But, I thought it was entertaining in all. I wish it had, Patty Jenkins had played a little more like she did before, but that's okay. Also coming out, there's a lot of news about Black Adam, right? It's got Dwayne Johnson attached to it. He's going to be the Black Adam. This is going to be, DC's going to throw a lot of weight behind this one. This is going to be one of their big summer blockbusters that they're banking on, right? They don't hire, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood like Dwayne Johnson, get him to sign a contract, get him into this villain role, and not back it up, right? And just put it out in a few theaters. So this is going to be a major movie for them. Filming, I believe they're probably have finished filmed it, kind of in the last stages of filming it, maybe into the editing part of it. Anyways, they've still got time. I don't know how well Wonder Woman 1984 did. I know a lot of people that did buy the movie. I bought it as well, but I'm not sure what the numbers are on what it did for box office return from that home viewing. I know it wasn't released in very many theaters for no fault of their own, because a lot of states and a lot of provinces here in Canada have, the theaters are closed. You're not allowed to, attend theaters at this point. So, I'm sure they'll wait, see what those numbers come in on the streaming release, whether it was worth that or whether they're just going to, hold back on Black Adam. However, one of the characters that is confirmed to be in it, and they think that a young man named Noah Centineo, I'm not sure, he's a young man, has been cast into the role of Atom Smasher. And Atom Smasher's first appearance shows up here in this book. It is All-Star Squadron number 25 from 1983. Okay, and that has the first appearance of Atom Smasher, which is this guy here. Nuklon is what he originally starts out as, and he changes his name. So apparently, he's Noah's been cast into this role. He's going to be, I don't know, co-starring or whether he's cameo appearances or something or other, but he's going to be in the Shazam movie. And this book is still, very much flying under the radar for a character that might actually turn out to have a major role in one of the big blockbuster movies when everything gets going back, right? I mean, DC's going to throw everything they got at this one, hoping for a hit. And this book, you can find this book easily $10 to $15 range. Really nice copies of it. It's starting to kind of show up on people's radar, but easy to find. I know I paid $7 for this one. It does have a couple little issues, but it's really not bad shape at all for being as old as it is, from 1983, right? You're looking at a almost 40-year-old book now. So so he is actually cast. It's not a rumor. This is Atom Smasher is going to show up in Shazam. So, and this is his first appearance, and nobody's buying it yet. You wait till that first trailer drops and they see Atom Smasher in that trailer, or we get closer and they start doing the circuits, trying to get more media attention towards the movie. Atom Smasher and this young man Noah will also probably be on that circuit talking about the movie, and that's when this book will really start to bump up. So grab it now, $10 to $15 range for like really nice copies of it for a 40-year-old book. Okay, so from 1983, it is All-Star Squadron number 25. first appearance of Atom Smasher. Look to pay $10 to $15 for this guy. All right. So number 3 on our list, we're going to do a Star Wars spec. Star Wars has been so hot, I can't help keep, at least putting in one, right? We know Ahsoka Tano showed up in The Mandalorian, right? They've talked about it. We talked about Thrawn, right? There's Thrawn's first appearance. We talked about that a long time ago. Should have grabbed that book. One of the things they mentioned was Dathomir in some rumors and some stuff going on with Ahsoka Tano being linked back to it. Now, Darth Maul is dead, so I'm not specking on Darth Maul, but there's a group of people on that planet, and the group that I'm talking about, they make their first appearance here in Star Wars Darth Maul, number 3 of the limited series from Dark Horse, okay? And that came out in 2000, okay? If you go on Key Collector and look for this book, they've made a little mistake. They put up the picture of the Marvel Comics number 3 Darth Maul, not the Dark Horse one, so that's a little mistake. The reference on Key Collector is correct, but they're just showing the wrong cover, so don't pay attention to the cover. This is a photo variant cover. There's other covers for it as well. But anyways, so this group of people on the planet is called the Night Sisters, right? And they're like witches that use the Force and magic, and they're really linked to Darth Maul and Asajj Ventress, and like there's a lot of stuff that links back in Star Wars to Dathomir. And if Ahsoka Tano is going to travel to Dathomir for some reason, there's a very, very good chance that we're going to see the Night Sisters. So their first appearance comes here in this book, right? And this guy is flying under the radar as well. Darth Maul, son of Dathomir, is a kind of an expensive limited series to collect. However, this one, which came out earlier, I think has a great story to it, is much, 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 much cheaper. And yeah, it has the first appearance of the Night Sisters, which could become a very important piece to whatever Ahsoka Tano is doing on her streaming show, right? So we just, we had that little blip of her, a couple little cameo at the end of one episode, and then in a full episode, just give us a taste of Ahsoka Tano, right? But she does have her own streaming show scheduled, and good chances I think she's going to find the Witches of Dathomir, right? And yeah, their first appearance is right here. Star Wars Darth Maul number 3 from 2000. First appearance of the Witches of Dathomir. And look to pay, I paid $7.50 for this one, Canadian, so that's about $6 American. Yeah, I would say look to pay about $5 to $10 for this guy, right? You can find it. There's a couple of different covers for it. I believe I have another cover, but I didn't dig it out. And yeah, I think this book could start showing up on people's radar once we see some media stuff from the Ahsoka Tano streaming show. If they show any of the sort of witches, that book is going to jump. You just watch. All right. So let's get back to Marvel. Time Variance Authority. These guys have been jumping up huge on everybody's radar because we saw some media event, and we saw Owen Wilson, and he's Morbius, who is like a middle manager in the Time Variance Authority, right? But he's the guy that interacts mostly, and there's still lots of room out there for some of their specs. So I picked this one is going way under the radar. Let me flip my page here, my notes. All right. This is Fantastic Four Annual, number 27 from 1994, right? I'm going to show you, I paid $5 for that guy, right? $5 Canadian from my LCS, and I just went and grabbed it today. This is the first appearance of the Time Variance Authority. But Dave, what about that Thor issue that everybody's all over, right? This Thor issue, number 372. The Time Variance Authority isn't in this book. They just talk about them. So it's just the mention of them. The first mention of the Time Variance Authority. However, Morbius gets pissed off at Mr. Fantastic about, his time stuff. drags Mr. Fantastic to the Time Variance Authority. And this book, Fantastic Four Annual number 27, is the first appearance of the Time Variance Authority, right? First appearance of Mr. Alternity, first appearance of Justice Might, first appearance of Justice Truth, first appearance of Justice Liberty, right? Justice Peace has already shown up in Thor 391, I believe, and or maybe another fan has. Anyways, so that completes the team. Right now we have our. Well, I mean, there's a few other characters, ancillary characters that pop in and out. It's a team, right? They can always throw in more characters as we go along. But yeah, this book is the first appearance of the Time Variance Authority, who we are confirmed to show up in the Loki, streaming show, right? They're obviously going to have some sort of issue with what the Avengers did with the time stuff, and Loki himself jumped through time himself. He's supposed to be dead, now he's alive, and this and that. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of stuff. We've also heard a lot of rumors about Kang, right, who's a time traveler, and it seems like they're going to stick with this time traveling storyline. And yeah, the Time Variance Authority may play a bigger role than just being in the streaming service. If they're going to go with this whole time traveling theme in through the movies and in for a long haul, maybe over across a few movies, the Time Variance Authority may very well start showing up in all of the big motion pictures and summer blockbusters as well. Helping or trying to thwart whatever efforts people are doing to change the timeline that the Time Variance Authority disagrees with. Anyways, their first appearance shows up here in 1994. It is the Fantastic Four Annual number 27. First appearance of the Time Variance Authority, first appearance of Mr. Alternity, first appearance of Justice Might, first appearance of Justice Truth, first appearance of Justice Liberty. All right, so chock full of first appearance on this. Look to pay around $5 to $10 max. This is a really nice copy. They had a couple copies at my LCS just sitting in the bin. One was a little more ratcheted up, and they wanted $3 for that one, but I grabbed the $5 one, which was nice and mint. All right, so last book on our list, and I think this one is really still flying under the radar. It's a cheap book that you can find anywhere. All right, so it is the Fantastic Four number 272 from 1984. And this book has the first appearance of Nathaniel Richards. So if you know your comic book stories and you know about Kang, you know he was Ramatut, you know he was Immortus, you know he was Kang the Conqueror, you know he was Iron Lad, I believe, but he was also Nathaniel Richards, who is one of Mr. Fantastic's long specced out, family, from ancestors, or I guess four sisters, right? One of the incarnations, but it also relates back to Kang. So a lot of people are like, oh, Kang is supposed to be Nathaniel Richards, and Richards was this and that, and all. Like, it's a very convoluted story about Nathaniel Richards, Kang, Mr. Fantastic, the Avengers, all this stuff. It's a very convoluted story, which, of course, anytime we start talking about time travel, the stories get crazy, right? So this book can easily be found for the $3 to $5 range. Okay. This is a nice copy that I picked up for $3, right? Yeah, and I think, if they're gonna push the whole Kang thing and show him up and like go with that whole storyline of Nathaniel Richards, then this is his first appearance, and he might. I doubt it'll ever show up in the same sort of money that Avengers number 8 has with the first appearance of Kang, or Fantastic Four 17, which is Ramatut 17. I think I'm wrong there, but could be a different. There's probably a different number, which is the first Ramatut in it, right? Which technically is the first appearance of Kang, and all this stuff, but this is one of his first appearances as well. So Kang can have multiple first appearances across multiple comics in different timelines, but this is one of his incarnations as Nathaniel Richards. So Fantastic Four number 272 from 1984. First appearance of Nathaniel Richards. Look to pay around $3 to $5. Possibly link back to the major character, which could be the major character and span across all the movies that are coming in the next Marvel. They're picking their storyline to unite all these movies together. If they back Kang, and I'm not saying they are, but if they keep with this time stuff and they back Kang, Nathaniel Richards has a very, very good chance of showing up as well. Right? They've got a lot of story to tell around that. Whew. So that was some good books this week. Yeah, I'll be back in a couple weeks with 5 more. And like I've always said, today might be New Comic Book Day, but every day is Old Comic Book Day. All right, so we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.